to yourconnection.com and take control of your pipeline today. Now, whether you're tuning in live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or X, catching the replay on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you stream, we're glad you're here. Do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share this with a friend, and make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. All right, guys, let's get locked in. We've got a powerhouse show lined up today, and if you're in business or real estate or just building something big, this one is for you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the Elite Real Estate Podcast on another fantastic Friday morning here. And I'm very excited for my guest this morning that we are going to have on to have a conversation with him. We just got to have a conversation before the show started today. So as we roll in this, hey, I'm just going to bring him on. My man, Austin Cheviron, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
What's up? Good morning.
There he is. Bright and shiny on a Friday morning, and you're joining us all wrapped in red there, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, normally I'm not all in red, but I said, why not? It's 7:30 Eastern. Let's go.
Let's do the darn thing, right? Like it's 7:30 in the morning. Let's rock and roll. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah. You do the early show, buddy.
I do the early.
Always have.
Yeah, it's been a staple, and oh look, we've got good morning from Indy already, right? Mindy from Indy. Right, is jumping in with this morning. So the Indiana's bond is strong down there.
Yeah, I mean, I almost might as well just build a railway from Fort Wayne, Indiana to Detroit and just take it myself.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time up here.
I'm up there, and I always gotta watch when I tell people when I'm in Detroit and when I don't. So, because sometimes everyone's like, "I heard you came up here." I'm like, "I'm sorry, there's 100 of you that I needed to text and I couldn't." But yeah, I'm in Detroit 3 times, I believe, in November and December minimum.
Yeah, I think the last time you were here, I think you and I had to have a conversation because I didn't know you were coming in town, and I'm like, "Hey, man, like, you're supposed to tell me when you're here."
I know I get yelled at, so.
Well, that just means you're a popular guy, Austin. That's all it is.
Try to provide value, Jimmy, everywhere I go, buddy.
I love it. So, hey, man, we were on to talk about the book this morning and all that stuff, and I do want to get into that. But the first thing I want to find out, the Money Puzzle is the book that just now. When did the book get launched?
It was launched October 7th.
Okay. So
we, very strategic date, came right out of the gate, told my publisher I wanted this date. And they're like, "Oh, that's pretty quick, Austin." I go, "Do you want to sign the deal or not? This is the date it's going to happen by." So, yeah.
Well, knowing you like I know you, that does not surprise me one bit at all. It does not surprise me one bit. And in fact, I'm going to bring this one up too, because when we first met, the first time we met, we were in a meeting. You came up to shadow us. You came up. It was Kurt, myself, Marissa, Mark Prinz, Mark Z. Right. We were all in a meeting, and you came up to shadow us to see how things were going. And our conversation at that point that morning was about lock boxes.
Yeah, that was a part of the manager's meeting. Yes.
And the issue we were having was getting our lock boxes back because we had so many listings out, and then it was getting the lock boxes back, and we were trying to come up with a process and a formula to how to get them back and who was picking up the signs, and that we were spending a lot of time on it at the time.
Yeah, about 15 minutes, I remember.
and you interrupted the meeting and said, "All right, now," and I want you to dive into this because I've heard you talk about this before, about how risky that was at the time. Oh. You had just met us, right? You had just met us. You came up to shadow the team to figure some things out team-wise, what you wanted to do, and go from there.
Yeah, so I knew Kurt because me and Kurt met in Nashville maybe a month prior, and that was the first time I ever met Kurt. And I realized you guys were all up in Detroit, and so one of the things that I like to do is I like to watch and shadow people who are doing something a little past where I'm at. So the team was a little bit bigger. The rev share count was a little bit bigger. And I'm like, let me just go shadow these people, see what they're doing. I'll just sit. I'll be a fly on the wall. And I'm an introvert. I can sit in a corner and not say anything, right? And so Kurt's like, "Hey, we got our manager meeting." Was it like 9 o'clock is what time that was?
Yeah.
So it's 9 o'clock. And I go, "Can I sit in?" He goes, "Sure." And I go, "I won't say anything. I'll just sit." And so I come in and I'm like, "Oh, all these new people, they have no clue who I am. I wonder what they're going to talk about today." And so I listened to everybody talk, and there became a moment in which you guys started talking about lock boxes. And I'm like, okay, I've dealt with this problem. Sold real estate for 20 years, been around real estate agents for 35. I know all about the lock boxes. But then it got me thinking, like, we just spent 15 minutes talking about lock boxes. I'm pretty sure the hourly rate among everybody here is over $500. That is a horrible use of your guys' time. And I had to make a decision. I hope everyone listens clearly here. I had to make a decision. Do I say something out of respect to say, hey, do you guys think you could be talking about something more valuable than this? Did you go down a rabbit hole and get lost here? And I had to make a decision. Do I say something or do I keep my mouth shut? And if I say something, I could get hit in the face by anybody here, even Marissa, for all I know. If one of they could just say, who are you? And bam. And I thought, out of respect, I might as well say something. I thought, well, I might just be driving home right after I open my mouth here. This was a short trip in Detroit. And I said that. I said what I believed in that moment. And what was really interesting was I think I gained the respect out of everybody that moment. And I had to make a decision. Do you open your mouth and say something or don't you? And because I said something, Jimmy, I'm here now with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like, people don't understand that you were in a situation where it could have been like, get out. Get out.
75% chance.
Yeah, 75% chance of get the fuck out of the office, right? Like that.
And do you remember what you were talking about in that same meeting? That was another chance for me to say, get out of here.
I don't remember now. Now that
you were flipping a house, and when you told me your whole process, I'm like, well, you just lost $10,000 possibly. Yeah. I'm like, should I have said that? Honest feedback?
That was, because we had just flipped that house, and you were like, yeah, but you could have gotten 10,000 more. And I was like, really, bro? Like that?
And I think it just sets the ground. My therapist taught me that feedback equals love. And so let's state that I was taught that feedback equals love from my therapist. Now, right or wrong, that's what they taught me. So I like to give feedback.
Yeah. And it's funny. I always keep thinking about t-shirt ideas. And now this feedback equals love could be just a t-shirt idea.
Now, let me tell you, where it doesn't feel so lovely is when people don't ask for feedback and you just give it.
Yeah. Yeah. When you just feel like you're just giving it, no one asked for it. Right. Nobody asked for you to talk about lock boxes, but here you are.
Well, imagine if you just walked around giving love all day. Those people that don't ask for your love probably will say something pretty negative to you. Like, why don't you just go take your happy self somewhere else?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's all about the timing and the moment, and you're in the circle you're supposed to be in. And that's the way to find out if you're in the right circle or not.
Yeah, it's funny talking about circles. I've had to make a conscious choice. My assistant actually said something to me. She goes, you do a lot of work in Detroit. And for everybody that works by referral, works by SOI, hone in on this. Because I built all my companies I've ever owned is always built by SOI and referral. And I told my assistant, I said, I had to make a conscious choice. Do I go deep with my friends in Detroit and help the people that they know and they know and they know? Or do I go to one of the other 50 cities and start again and build? And I said, I'd rather go deep with my friends and help my friends and then the friends of their friends, because my impact is more throughout somebody's life and through their community. And we were just talking about this yesterday, of the impact now that we've had in Detroit, but it's been a conscious choice to go deep with relationships compared to wide.
Yeah.
And so
there's something to be said about that. Like, do you go an inch deep and a mile wide, or do you go a mile deep and an inch wide?
Yeah. Right.
And there's something to be said about that. There's, business, there's been a million business books written about this, right? About which ways. And I feel the most impactful way is what you're talking about. I go deep. I want to make an impact with people, and the only way you can make an impact is to go deep with them, and you can't do that just by scratching the surface.
Yeah, because I literally can't go anywhere with you in Detroit without someone else knowing me, and I've served them too. Sometime in your day that would happen, and when that happens, like the glue and the bond amongst people and amongst service and the work just grows when you can do that. Because now it's like, literally, if me and you walked around Detroit all day, there would probably be a half a dozen people. I was like, Austin. And you're like, how do you know Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, well, through these connections. And
well, you were up here not too long ago with the Peterson Jackson team.
Yeah.
Right. I love them. They're great. They're like, but again, now it's another connection in the Metro Detroit area.
Yeah. And so I've always chose to go deep with relationships compared to wide. It's how I built my real estate business. It's how I built my real estate team. I'm a relationship type of guy, and I'd rather have good relationships with few than shallow relationships with many.
Yep.
And it's just a choice of my life. I don't want to say if there's a right or wrong way. It's how I chose to live. And I can tell you this, whoever's listening, it's working really well. So
yeah, it's working really well. And that's true. And you do make a big impact with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, you make a very big impact with a lot of people. So I want to, what was the, getting back to the book thing, what was the turning point with the book? Like, what was and I know you've did a deep dive on this, but what was the turning point? Like, where did you say, what sparked it and said, I need to do this book, The Money Puzzle?
Well, I think it's a couple things. One, having the right guides around you to help push you. So everybody here listening, everybody watching, it's always about having good guides in your life. People who will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. People who know who you are and what talents and abilities you have to get them out there to the world. And so my first thing I'll say is I had a really good guide who said, it's time to get your talents out there a little more, Mr. Introvert. It's kind of what she said. The world needs to know you, not just your 10 friends. Okay. And I'm like, well, I'm kind of okay with that. No. So that was a huge spark. Another spark is really going deep, Jimmy, and figuring out like, what are the talents and abilities that God gave you? What are those? And we all have them. What are those talents and abilities? And for me, I was given the gift of understanding time, money, and the utilization of those two things to maximize things. Now, full disclosure, that's also the same thing that put me in the hospital 4 years ago, is maximizing everything in my life. So your talents and abilities, when you get deep, they could put you somewhere else too. So just full disclosure, just watch how obsessed you are with your gifts. And so I knew I had gifts, and so I needed to get those out there to the world. I believe that the gifts you're given, if you don't use, they'll be taken away from you. And so I want to make sure I use those. The other thing is, I mean, just to be real with everybody, is I got my money right, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Listen to that, everybody. I got my money right. How many people can say that?
Yeah.
Like, my money's good.
And what people have to understand is you got your money right, but that didn't mean all of a sudden you had money, right?
No.
You were making money before you got your money right. Like, you had money before you got your money right. The difference is you got right with your money.
Yeah, and when I say I'm good with my money, it doesn't mean necessarily I have it. It means I understand it. I control it. I move it where it needs to move. I understand. I'm in charge of it. I understand the feelings and emotions I have. I have systems and processes to ensure my money goes where it needs to go. And the reason I bring that up is actually when I started to write the book, I sat in my home office right here for 60 days. And imagine now you taking off of work to write everything you know about money for 60 days. Imagine where you'd be mentally. Imagine where your bank account would be. If you literally took 60 days off of work right now and said, from this day to heck, let's just do to the end of the year. I'll give you 45. Yeah. So from today to the end of the year, you don't work anymore. The only thing you do is you whiteboard everything you know about money. Where would you be on January 1st? Would you be freaking out? Or would you be December 1st? Like for me, one thing I didn't realize is my wife saying, hey, when are you going to leave? I'm like, well, I was trying to do important work. She's like, but you're here all the time now. I'm like, but I'm in my office. I can still hear you. And I know you're here and you can pop out anytime. So there's just these random things, let alone like, where's my bank account? Jimmy?
Right.
What's my bank account say? How do I deal with this mentally? What are all my clients going to think when I'm like, hey, I'm not really doing anything for the next 45 days. So you can kind of just please leave me alone.
Right.
And so when I say I got my money right, by me getting my money right, I had the option to do some very powerful things with my legacy.
That's the changer.
Yep. And I had a choice. Now, for me to write the book, just to be honest with everybody, I'm probably going to be in this book between $50,000 and $100,000. And I've never made so little on anything I've ever sold in my life. I mean, talking about sorting nickels, Jimmy, my gosh. I feel like I got a bag of nickels every time. Like here, Amazon sends me 6 nickels. Oh, we sold a book. I'm like, well, I'm going to need a lot more of those to equal the 50 grand, 100,000. So, but it's not about the money. It's about the legacy piece.
Yeah. And for those of you that know Austin, like the money is not spent frivolously. It's not.
It's not spent at all. It's always invested.
Right. See, I told that again. This is the conversation, right? This is the conversation. And and again, I know your story. So your story, it's not. There was not a silver spoon in Austin. There was not this life of like luxury that you've always been involved in, right?
No, I will say this though, is I did have an unfair advantage in witnessing knowledge. I'll say that. In witnessing knowledge and gaining knowledge, I did do really well there because my dad's been a real estate agent my whole life. And not many entrepreneurs can say that for 85% of their life, they watch all these other entrepreneurs. Okay. Now, when I say this next piece, most people won't think about this, but in this way, but my mother passed in a tragic accident when I was 17 and I was stolen from by the people that were closest to me. And now most people would say like, how is that an advantage? Well, I got to see the realities of life and live through it at a young age, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And now I have an advantage because I've already seen that. I've witnessed it. I've been through it. And I know what the other side looks like and I can help people get through it. I mean, chapter 22 of the book is inheritance. Now, the only thing in the book that I haven't done that I talk about is die. I haven't died yet, Jimmy.
Yeah, because this is a good thing. Yeah, this is a good thing.
Everything else I've done, but I do talk about death and like when you die, are you prepared to leave and is it organized? Let me say it in another way. If you were to pass today, does everybody know where all your stuff is? I think my dad heard me talking on a podcast and he came up to me the next day. He goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know, here's where some cash is in case something."
I got it.
You keep your cash there, huh, Dad? He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "No one else knows that." And I think my dad heard this because see, there's one thing for someone to know what all do I have and where is it at and who would I contact. There's another thing to teach people how to inherit what you own. And I talk about that in the book, and I've never heard anybody speak on this in my life. I own, at the beginning of this year, I owned about 50 single family homes. And if I were to pass, does my wife know exactly the purpose of these homes, how to utilize them in our life, what my plan was? Does she know all these things? And the answer was no. So I'm like, I got her starting to do some stuff. Hey, you're going to pay the taxes this year. And the first time she paid the taxes, she was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money we paid." I go, "That's why you can't spend it when it comes in." You understand that? That's why. And so just to not only to organize everything you have, but teach people how to inherit it.
See, that's so interesting because again, that doesn't matter the level amount of money you have, right? Everybody needs to do this because if you have 100,000 or 100 million, someone else is going to inherit that at some point, and they, like to your point, they need to know what to do with it. And you have younger kids, I have same thing. I've got one that's a little bit older, but do they know what to do with it?
Yeah, and that's one of the things. They even know where to find it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one of my clients call me up. He goes, "I just found $85,000 I forgot I had." Can you imagine? Like, what do you mean you forgot? He goes, "I forgot all about it."
Yeah. Like some investment there, 401 or whatever.
Some random investment. Yeah. Yeah. Now, some of you would be like, "Oh, I would never forget about $85,000. Okay. Well, what about $8.50?
Right.
Did you forget? I put my suit on last week and I pulled out of my pocket. I had a whole wad of cash in there. I'm like, "Oh my, what? I'm just becoming like my father now."
Yeah.
I'm like, "How does this happen?" It happens to all of us.
And you got excited, didn't you? Like, wow.
I did. I sent him a picture. I'm like, "This actually feels kind of good, but this isn't cool." But it kind of feels good, but it's not. I've always been better with my money than my father.
Yeah, I mean and the thing is too, as parents now, right? As dads now, our whole goal is to set them up to be better than what we were, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
obligation, in my opinion, Jimmy. It's an obligation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it doesn't mean they're spoiled, whatever, but the job is not to spoil them, but it's to teach them again to this legacy piece.
Well, it's one of the reasons I wrote the book is because my kids are growing up. I mean, I'm now an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I'm an investor. Like I got good titles now. Like literally,
Yeah.
I've worked my butt off for them. But I got some really good titles. And guess what my kids think? Oh, we got all this money. We own all these houses. Dad travels all around the world. And then he's been, oh, hell no.
Right.
No, no, no. I was on welfare when you were a baby.
Yeah.
We're going to go back to those days.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, my kids will have, unfortunately for them, they'll have an unfair advantage, and that doesn't sit well with me. And so I went back and I wrote everything I did to go from where I was on welfare to where I'm at today. And I documented it all because I'm like, I know that if my kids, when they inherit everything, there's a 50-50 chance they're going to be broke.
Yeah. Yeah. Tara said she thought you were wearing some Red Wings gear for a minute there.
Oh, I am. Look, here you go. Yes, Red Wings. Yeah, baby.
Go Wings.
I've been to a Red Wings game. Only hockey game I've ever been to.
Oh, there you go. See, again, the things you do in Detroit.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting just seeing the things from a different perspective. When you get out of the hamster wheel and you can step back and calmly look at your life and look at the things that you want to create and why you want to create them, like, man, life's a little different. Looking at it from a 50,000 foot view compared to I'm in the rat race every single day, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the things, like there's the income and the results and all those things, right? But you've got a much deeper purpose than that. You've got a much deeper purpose than that. Yours is not about income. Yes, it's important, right? We all do things to make money. We support our family. We're trying to create a legacy, right? We're trying to do all those things, but your purpose is deeper than that.
Well, when I was on welfare, when I had my second child, I got my vision. I got lucky and I got a vision. Okay. And now I got a vision because I was on welfare. I don't know if like that's my recommendation for anybody else here necessarily, but like I was blessed with my vision when that happened. And I just said, when my son graduates high school, I need to be free of time, free of money, and free of location. I don't know how those things hit me, but they hit me, Jimmy. And I'm like, this is where I got to go. And I'm like, good news, I got 18 years to do this. Bad news today, my son's taller than me now, which means it's getting close, Jimmy.
It's that time is shrinking, my friend.
Yep. Free of time, free of money, and free of location. And so then I just went to work. And what's really cool when you get your vision, you know what they say about vision, Jimmy? Is when there is no vision, people perish.
Mm.
And so when I see people perish, they might just like live life without extreme purpose. They just kind of go into the masses and the voids. But I got my vision and I went to work and I was able to align every decision I've ever made, those hard decisions, to the vision I had. Does this help me get there or not? I was able to put an X on my treasure map when I just started. And I got blessed with that, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of us are struggling to find the vision and why is it important? And normally, you know, I talk about it in the book. One of my clients just sent me a text message this morning. She's probably listening. Or maybe it was yesterday morning. I talk about it. My best clients are normally about 55 years old.
I believe that. I'm 52.
and here's why. For all of my 50-some-year-olds listening right now, here's why I say that. Is because the clock starts hitting them, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in your 30s and 40s, you still have time. In your 50s, you're like, okay, I'm still good. My health is good. My mind's good. But I don't have forever anymore. So let's get to it, Austin. Where my 20-year-olds, they're like, oh, we got forever. And they don't see life. Just, you know, the vision's harder when you're 20. But when you become 50, they come to me and they're like, I'm done mussing around. Whatever I got to do to get me here, let's go. And she circled that in the book I talked about. And she said, I'm 55 and you were talking about this. I go, those are my clients.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is true, right? Like I said, I'm 52, and you do start to think about things a little bit differently, right? And like I said, now my boys are 21 and 14. It's I'm I'm trying to help them think about what's next for my 21-year-old, right? Like what's going to be,
Yeah.
once college is done, then what, right? It's great. Now what, right? What's the next thing and what's the next plan? And again, like growing up, like I had a great household. My parents are still married. They've been married for over 60 years.
Mm.
But they didn't know anything about money. Like, we like growing up, it was a struggle. We lived in low income townhouses. We, one of the best summers we had was when they owned an ice cream truck, and they
Yeah.
they literally paid that ice cream truck off in 2 summers though.
Yeah, normally the 2 words with financials, Jimmy, is what I'm seeing is financial literacy
Yeah.
is a problem, and then financial stewardship is a problem. So first we just gotta be trained and understand and live. And then the second thing is we got to figure out a way to be good with it.
Yeah.
And how and how many people teach about financial stewardship compared to just, hey, just go make more money and that will solve my problem. Or
Yeah.
as my friend's texting me here, she's on listening. If I just make more than I spend, what's the problem? She'll hear me say, if I just make more than I spend, what's the problem, Austin? Well, go live 10 years and then call me after a decade and tell me what the problem is. You'll probably know then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That doesn't equal your vision, by the way. That just keeps you out of financial jail. That
Right.
doesn't equal the vision for your life.
Yeah, and again, there is something to be said about that, right? The stewardship, because I know people, people that have millions that are terrible with it, right? Like that are struggling, sometimes even month to month, that make a lot of money. You know what I mean? And so again, just because you make a lot of money doesn't mean you have a lot of money.
Nope.
And those are probably your best clients.
Yep, I do really well with them.
Yeah.
So, and one of the reasons why is when people have money and they come to me. It's funny. I became like a financial coach, even though I always trained on the financials. Recently, I've done a lot of coaching on the financials. And the more money people make and spend, the bigger investment I am in their life, because I can go through and make them a return right away because they're just crapping away money like they don't even know. And then when they call me, I'm like, oh, I could probably make you $20,000 in the next 2 months. And they're like, how would you do that? I'm like, I just organize your money. That's it. It's such a mess. You're just losing it. It's like you got a boat with 50 holes in it, and you're just concentrating on rowing. And I'm like, well, maybe if we get the water out of here to start with, we'd go a little faster.
Yeah.
Like every day water's just pouring in. You're just losing money and interest and organization, and it's not going towards your vision. You're spending it and not investing it. And when I say investing, I don't mean like buying houses, but I mean with the mindset of, is this money that's coming out going to a greater purpose, helping me achieve what I'm trying to achieve? And that's what I call investing.
Yeah. Yeah, because the invest, like, and you said this before, what about spending money? It's always an investment. Right? It's never just that I'm just buying things or doing things. I'm always trying to invest. And again, whether that's investing in yourself, whether that's investing in your business, whether that's investing in something that's going to return, it doesn't matter. You're investing in it.
Yeah, I think the word investment goes along with mindset. Is my mindset about getting to my vision of my life? Everything I'm doing, am I investing in that mentally? Or am I just wastefully spending and have no clue, and I'm throwing mud and dirt at the wall, hoping it sticks, but not knowing which wall I should even throw it at?
Right. Right. Yeah, and you talk about the wealth pyramid, right? Like that's obviously in the book, the wealth pyramid. But what level do most professionals like skip in that part? Like what's the biggest thing that professionals say they miss out on or they skip when it comes to that building wealth?
Let's say this. What's really interesting is when I talk to most people, what they think is going to solve their problem is making more money. And what I've determined, just like a house, that if you don't get your foundation right, it doesn't matter what you put on top of it. It's always going to be a problem. I mean, I'm watching the houses in North Carolina just get washed away. It doesn't matter how big those houses are. They're on a bad foundation. And somebody can say, well, let's make the roof bigger. Let's blow out the back wall and put another room on there. It's a bad foundation. And so where most people think they can solve their problem is just by making more money. It's like making their house bigger. What they don't realize is it doesn't matter how big your house is. If you don't work on your foundation, it always comes crashing down. It just does. And then the question becomes, okay, Austin, if I agree with you, what's the foundation? And that's everything personally that you believe about money, how you personally handle your money. How much time do you spend looking at your money? For our listeners, Jim, let's have some fun, Jim. Are we okay to have some fun?
Yeah, well, I love having fun.
Okay, let's. I see how I can talk you into it. You want to have some fun, Jimmy? Yeah, let's do it.
I'm always for
it. Okay, and this is something I talk about in the money puzzle. But so when you get quiet, and when I say quiet, I was 60 days in my office here. I got quiet. The outside world of distractions went away. It's like they left me alone on my island. And when you get quiet, it's amazing how simple things in life you can figure out. And here's the thing. I don't know how the heck I got this. I might have been bored trying to get my brain to think, but I started asking myself some weird questions. And the first question I asked is, well, how many hours a week on average does someone work to make money? What do you think that answer is? Average entrepreneur, what are they working?
60 hours.
Okay. I found 45 is the answer I found. Not right or wrong. The average person, I've asked hundreds, if not thousands of people this question.
You know how dumb I am. I just said 60. So
well, no, that's not dumb because you are 60. The other side is we got the people struggling working 15.
Right.
Like, that's not going to work, right? So the average person's working 45 hours a week, exchanging their time for money. And then the second question that I put together is, okay, well, how many hours a week are they taking that money that they just made and buying things, stuff, and experiences? How many hours do you think that is?
That's probably 40 of it, right?
Five was the average answer. 5.
Yeah.
So some of us are 40 and some of us are 0.
Yeah.
And everybody lives in a different place on the scale. So now I got about 50 hours a week. On average, people are taking their lives and working to earn money and then taking that money and spending it. On average, about 50 hours. Now, the next question I asked is, well, how many hours a week do you think people are taking managing the money they make, caring for it, looking at it, directing it?
Oh, 0.
A half hour's the answer. It's a half hour.
Yeah.
It's funny. That is the one question I ask that always gets me about the right answer. It's between 0 and 1 on average.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then I started doing this math and I'm like, 30 minutes into 50 hours is what percent? I know it's early, but do you know what percent 30 minutes is into 50 hours?
0.5%. I
It's
mean,
1%.
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
Now, Jimmy, you're a father. Let me ask you this. If you spent 1% of your time being a father to your boys, how good of a father would you be?
Yeah, they wouldn't even know who I was.
If you spent 1% of your time being a husband, how good of a husband would you be?
I wouldn't be one.
If you spent 1% of your time being a basketball coach, would your team won the state title?
No.
Okay, now let me ask you this last question. If you spent 1% of your time managing your money, how good is your money going to be?
Same. Not very good.
See, when you get quiet, you can think through things like that.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. Never even thought that. How do I expect a good result financially when I don't care for it at all? I spend no time with it. And how are we expecting in this world good results when no one's teaching us good time management skills to work on our financials? Like already this morning before we popped on here, I spent my 15 minutes looking at my bank accounts, looking at my credit card statements, just asking myself, was my bank account negative today? That's a legitimate question. Like, did I wake up and my bank account's negative? It happens.
Yeah.
But
it does.
It happens 1,000%, no matter how much money you have. And so there's just care for it. When I talk about the personal foundation, there's just a level of care that you personally have to have with your finances that the world doesn't teach. And if you don't have it, then you're going to get to the end of your life. You're going to get to a certain point and say, this ain't working for me like I thought it would. This ain't working for me at all. And so you ask, where do our people go wrong? They put the business, which is the second layer of the pyramid, they put the business and priority over the personal. And if you don't get the personal right, the foundations, how you think, how you spend, how you act, your emotions with it. If you don't get that right, I don't think it really matters how much you make unless you're making $1 billion a year. And then even then it maybe doesn't even work. I don't know. I don't know anybody who makes $1 billion a year. Yeah.
Right. And,
maybe.
And to your point, like, and here's the hard part, is the time you actually spend like on your money for most of us is probably just paying bills, right? Like I sit down, get my computer out, and I just go through and I pay my monthly bills, and that's what we think is time on our money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I give a framework on what I would suggest everybody do. And some people listening have taken this into consideration. They've done it, and then they call me up. They're like, "Holy crap, Austin! I've never been in this much control of my money ever." And here's my framework: Monday through Thursday, invest 15 minutes looking at your bank accounts, looking at your credit card statements, your Venmo accounts, PayPal, whatever money's going in and out. Just look at it, get an idea. You know, I wake up some mornings and I ask my wife, "Is somebody stealing from us?" And I find out in the morning, not 7 days later.
Right.
And so just 15 minutes a morning. And then on Friday, or for some people, maybe even Saturday, I invest an hour aligning all of my assets and debts, my assets and liabilities with the vision I have for my life. And I start connecting those. And how are these things working or hurting me? And then make bigger movements on Friday or Saturday for an hour. And I just do that every day of every week. I just care for it, just like my kids. Hey, are you up this morning? Hey, did you eat breakfast? Do you know you got to get dressed to go to school? Just spend a little bit of time with them. Yeah. That's it. And believe it or not, just like your kids, just like a marriage, when you invest a little more time, Jimmy, it turns out a little bit better.
It does. It does. And you know, that's one of the things thinking about time and investing, right? Like it's the quality, not necessarily the quantity. And when we look at and we think about it from the money standpoint, if we actually spent some quality time with it, right? You know what I mean? It's not and I don't have to spend 10 hours on it. If I spent, to you said, 15 minutes a day, how much better would that all become? Right?
A lot.
You know, and yeah, a lot, right? Because now you're actually cognitive of what's happening with your money and where it's going.
Yeah.
You know, man. And it's crazy. So what's the biggest thing you're seeing with biggest changes that are coming up for people, like end of the year, beginning of the year? I know everybody sets their, you know, we're rolling 2026 is going to be my year. It's going to, you know.
Well, I'll say this, the biggest feedback I get with training people on financials, and I would have never guessed this, by the way, Jimmy. The biggest feedback I get is they say, "You help me become aware." You help me become aware. And I'm like, oh, I wanted to do way more than that.
Yeah.
But what I realized by saying that is if you're not aware, good luck changing anything. If you're not aware that you're spending all your money, if you're not aware that you have a bad relationship with it, if you're not aware of these things, good luck ever changing. And so the feedback I get, which really tells me, is like, these are the first couple steps. That's the feedback. It's like when I train real estate teams, the biggest feedback I get and where the most work is starts with culture and expectations, not recruiting, not financials, not lead gen. It's always culture and expectations. And so when I get this type of feedback, it's like, oh, that's where the work is right there. If you don't get the awareness side down, then good luck ever building anything. So that's the number one feedback I get is awareness. And how aware am I? And then purposeful after that. Am I purposeful with what I'm doing?
Yeah, that was my next thing, right? Is breaking this down, because I've been in a bunch of your trainings. I've got notes in a book. Another lesson I learned from you was to take notes actually in a book and not just on a yellow pad of paper, because the yellow pad of paper gets thrown out at some point. The book gets put on a shelf. See, these things I remember, Austin. There you go. Yeah,
I got them right here. Here we go.
Yeah. And one of the things, you know, again, drawing the graphs and doing all the things, but it's one of the biggest things that is being purposeful with it, right? And not, saving is, again, going back to the thing, saving is, yes, important, right? Building a legacy, all those things, but being purposeful with it. And what am I doing with it? Like, what's the purpose of, if I want to make $1 million next year? Is this the question I always ask agents when I'm coaching them too? when agents what do all agents say when they say, what do you want to make next year?
100,000.
100,000. So they all, right? That's what everybody says. But then my next question is why? Why? What is that going to do for you? Is it going to be life changing? Like, what is? Are you saving for something? Are you doing something? Like, what's the why behind it? Why not 90? Why not 120? Like, why are we stopping at 100? Why don't you want to make 150? Like,
it normally has nothing to do with money, Jimmy.
It doesn't.
It has to do with like self. What's the word I'm looking for here? Self. I always said if I could give a real estate agent income, or if I could give them what's the word where they stand up on a stage and they win an award?
Yeah. The word you're looking for, like the grandeur, right? Like I want to be in the spotlight, right? I want to be on the stage. I want to do all the things.
Agents will take the production over income.
Yes.
I'm like, how stupid is that? Now, the only reason I would say to do that is to give the agent confidence.
Right.
That would be it. And that means I'm paying for confidence.
Yeah.
Which in some cases I could see that working out. But eventually you better get the money.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, it's, because I've had a lot of people, tell me, oh, I want to do a podcast. I want to do a podcast. I'm like, well, do one. Here, use my stuff. Go ahead. Fine. Come in and use it. They'll do it once or twice. They'll plaster it all over social media, right? And then it's gone. And that's the hardest part. So and again, people always say all the time, because I know you do this. You'll give away the whole plan. Here it is. You wrote a book.
I got the whole plan right here. Right, 286 pages of it. I couldn't believe it was that many when I was done. I'm like, wow, 286 pages of the exact plan. The problem is go start to do it and then figure out, oh, I got roadblocks, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I got roadblocks on this. Austin laid out all 286 miles to help me get to South Beach, Florida, let's say. But then I get on Highway 75 and it's got roadblocks. It's closed. Well, you got to deal with those roadblocks. And how are you dealing with them and why? Where did those come from? Just one of my clients, I was telling her, hey, you're past. You're now on the road. You're on the highway. You got the vision. Well, guess what? When you start your car, all the abuse you did to your car over the last 5 years is going to show up now when you start driving. Yep. Engine's going to fail. The tires are flat. They're bald. You didn't fill up your fluids. And now all these things in your past are going to come. And you got to realize that. You got to be aware of that. You got to keep going, though. You got to figure it out. Don't stop. That was your neglect over the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's good stuff, Jimmy.
Good stuff. And Dave Petrolius just added accolades.
Awesome.
That's the word we were looking for.
That's it.
It is, and it's the same thing, right? Like you can give this stuff away, but we know most people aren't going to do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like you want my scripts? Here they are. You want my 90-day business plan? Here it is. You want this? Here it is. Like I just give it out like candy. Here it is. Here it is. Give it. Here's all of it. But again, we know that most people aren't going to do anything with it, right? I've taught how to start your own podcast and do all the things. I give it away. It's free because I just and it's the most watered down thing anyway. But again, the people that are consistent with it, that's the ones who find success with it.
Hey, Jimmy, for all of our southeastern Michigan friends, can I tell them where I'm going to be on Saturday?
Please do. Yes, sir.
So all of my southeastern Michigan friends, I would doubt anybody from Florida is going to fly up to come see me. But I will be at Barnes & Noble in Troy, Michigan on Saturday. So tomorrow from 12 to 2, if you want to stop, have a conversation, get a book. I'll be signing books, taking pictures. So any of my friends, anybody listening, if you guys want to come hang out with me for a couple hours, and it's 12 to 2, by the way. It was going to be to 3, but I found out my daughter's got semi-formal. I was the last one in the family to get told. And so change of plans. Austin will be leaving Detroit at 2:15 to head back so I can see my daughter in her semi-formal dress.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the moments you can't get back, my friend. Those are the moments you got to be there. You got to be there for those.
Right. So my wife's like, well, just cancel. I go, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
We'll
can
just
adjust. We don't have to
we'll
cancel.
adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll adjust. But all my promotion, my videos say 12 to 3. And I'm like, somebody's going to show up at 2:30 and say, where are you at? Well, I'm with my family. I'm sorry. You should have looked at the asterisks and listened just a little closer. Sorry.
So Barnes and Noble, Troy, Michigan, tomorrow from 12 to 2. I'm going to come see you. And I got basketball practice in the morning, so then we'll be coming right after basketball practice. So see how you make things fit, make things work. You
just make the right things work. That's right.
Yeah. Getting high school kids up to be at practice at 9 a.m. on Saturday though it's.
I got my son to basketball at 7:00 this morning. I said, hey, I just got to be back. I got to be on the show by about 7:15, son. So make sure you're up and you're ready.
Yeah.
Just don't lag dad behind. Dad will put you in the car in your pajamas and you'll go to basketball in your pajamas for all I care.
That's right. We got the Breakfast Club line is on too, so they're listening. And so we do have the people from Florida. So maybe when is the book signing going to be in Florida?
That's a great question. I was in Miami signing books on a couple weeks ago. So check done. Maybe, right? So that's happened. Now there's once again, you got to make sure when you do these things it aligns. How much is the book? Dave, it's priceless.
I love it. But where can people find the book?
Amazon. It's at Barnes and Noble. It's on Target's website. I did do we have an ebook. We have the hardcover. I didn't do a soft cover for this, only hard. I did the audiobook. Some people have been listening to the audiobook.
Yep.
And so we did the audiobook, flew out to Seattle to do it. I wasn't going to do the audiobook, but some of my mentors said, actually I was with Jarek Robbins down in Puerto Rico in February, and he's like, the world needs to hear your voice, Austin.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you sure? Because it's expensive. That's a whole week out of my life. He goes, the world needs to hear your voice.
And for an introvert, it's tough to go talk for however many hours that took to go talk.
Well, and as somebody who's very wealth conscious, I already paid to have a professional read the book. It's already in my package. Yeah. And so now I'm going to go pay to do it when I paid someone else. I'm like, they better like hearing me say this stuff over someone else, because it's a costly piece. There's another $5,000.
Hold that book up though, so everybody can see it, because that's I know you got one right there because we were talking about it before.
Turned out really well. Let me get it out of the lights here. Turned out really well. I was really proud of this. My one fear with this whole thing, Jimmy, is that it wasn't going to look professional. The content wasn't going to be professional. The look wasn't going to be professional. And so that was my whole focus going in, is I need this book to represent what truly represent what it stands for. Or people would just be like, it's just another thing. No, it's if you read it and you don't get the priceless feeling out of it, you find me, let me know, and I'll make it up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I started listening to it. So it's one of those I've really trying to train myself over the last probably year. I listen to a lot of sports talk radio, right?
Yeah.
And why? It's because it's mindless, right? Like it's mindless. It gets my mind off of stuff. It's not really important. You know what I mean? Like whether the Tigers win or lose is not really that important to me. You know what I mean? But like I'm invested, but anyway, but I really tried to be conscious about like actually listening to things that might help me, right? Instead of just sports talk radio.
Every time. So in the morning, real quick, Jimmy, when I get in the shower, I always want to listen to music. I love music, helps me. But my habits, every time I go to hit my music, I always try to listen to a preacher in the morning and put the right stuff in my mind. And so I click on Pandora, and as soon as I hit it, my mind goes, is this the best use of your time to listen to this? And then I go straight to my preacher and I put the good stuff in, and then I listen to music later. So I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the thing, man. And we got about 10 minutes left, but you're building more than wealth, right? Like what you're building is it's more than the wealth thing, but you're building a culture. But what's Austin for the next 10 years? What's the next 10-year vision?
So I already built my wealth. I don't want to say I'm done, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need any. Everybody else tells me you could just retire today. And I'm like, I still got a wife and 2 kids trying to make me go broke every day. So I'm going to fight the battle. Okay. I don't think I'm willing to give up yet. So the next 10 years, I was taught by Mr. Brian Buffini. He's one of my mentors. And he taught me about survival's where you start, then you get to stability, then you get to success, then you get to significance. It was a 4-step process. I'll say it again. Survival's where you start. Some of my listeners here today, Jimmy, and your listeners just need to get surviving. Like, don't perish away. Survive. And then after you survive, then you become stable. And you do the things, you think the things for stability. And then some of you will be able to live in success and to see it and to make it and to be it. And then after that, you get into significance, where you get to pour out into the world, where your legacy comes. And most people want to skip the steps, but it's very important, like a foundation, you get it right and you get it in place. For me now, I'm still working on the success side, but I'm playing a lot in the significance and in doing things that are far more meaningful outside of who I am and just doing them for me. Now I'm doing things for other people. So your question is what lies in the next 10 years? It's probably a lot in the significance, which is how do I get everything that I got up here, that I got right and wrong in my life? How do I get it up from here to in a form that the world can consume, can understand, and then they can start to become that? And I hope there's some good stuff up here that's coming out, because it's coming out either way. And so that's really what the next 10 years. I'm not looking to grow huge companies. I'm not looking to be known by the whole world. I'm looking to live a calm life and do really quality work for the world to see and to say, man, this guy got something right. Like, if you were to go back with me in high school and you had 100 people in line and they were to pick who's going to be the most successful, I'd have probably been the last 3 picked. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of us in that line.
Yes. So the people who know me back then, they're like, oh my God, I never would have thought you'd have done anything with your life. And I'm like, haha, now I'm going to show you what I did. And now I'm going to help you. Like, I could be of service to you. I can help now. I'm not someone taking from the world. I'm someone giving back to it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what the next 10 years will look like.
That's a big thing. And that's what the next question too, right? Is if you could send a message to your 20-year-old self, what would that be?
I was in a very negative spiral when I was 20. The only thing I did right is I found my wife and I was really good at playing video games. That was probably my 2 things. I did really well. And if I could go back to 20 years old, I would say shorten your drift cycles. Shorten your drift cycles. So don't drift for a decade. Don't drift for a month or year. Drift for a day or 2. And then get back on the horse, and then find your vision. Spend time. Go find it. What do you want? Why do you want it? Go find it. That's probably what I'd have said. Shorten your drift and find a vision. And then it's like time to get to work. So I didn't get to work until I was 28 years old. That's when I first started.
Yeah.
It's 41 now.
Yeah. And it's, again, how fast has that time gone?
Oh,
from 28 to now.
It makes me think about the next 13 years. And it's like, okay, if that's what you did, then what's the next 13 years look like? And then who do you want to help? I was working with one of my coaches on an elevator pitch. And I'm not really a pitchy guy at all. But I do go through the framework to see. And one of the things it said is I help these people achieve what is the first part. And really it's, I help high achievers achieve calm.
I like that one.
Because when you're a high achiever, the world's not calm. You're managing 1,000 different things being thrown at you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
I help high achievers become calm. So I'm going to remain calm over the next 13 years. I'm fighting for it. I'm going to remain calm. I'm going to do good quality work that's authentic to myself. And I'm going to go help other people really align their lives to that. Because that's what we all want. Less stress, more impact.
Less stress, more impact.
Doesn't that sound good? Sign me up for that, buddy.
Oh, man. Where do I sign up for that?
Sign me up for that. Who's got that?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I'll buy that for $1, right?
Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah, because we're all less stress would be great.
Less stress.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And I live that life. And and as a high achiever, I'm not used to it. I feel awkward being calm.
Yeah. Yeah. That so we got another message. Good morning. I love what Austin said on Wednesday regarding looking at money as how many people he can feed a Thanksgiving dinner. It stuck with me.
Love it. Love it. That's when I first started putting 1% of my money away and putting it into a giving account. I'm like, well, what could 1% really do? And in a month, I was able to feed a handful of families at Thanksgiving. And I'm like, well, that's amazing.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's amazing the impact you can have. And again, because you went deep and you didn't go surface level, right? Yeah. You went deep and not wide.
I love that. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. And you've been on your world tour here in the Detroit area too the last week.
Well, as an introvert, I have to be an extrovert. So the one thing I'm going to ask for help, actually. So for those of you who know me and don't know me, I'm an introvert. I like to just whittle away in my closet. And here's the one thing I'm going to ask for help. For all my extroverts out there, help me spread the message. I don't do well on it on my own. I know you might think so, but I don't. Help me spread the message. Like, go give back to the people you care for. I did the heavy work. Go do some of the light work and spread the message for me, everybody. That's what I need from the world now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it, man. And one last thing. What is your ultimate message with the money puzzle? Like, what is that like to the world? Not because I know what it is to you, right? We've talked about what it is to you, but what is it to the world? Like, what are you?
It's chapter 23.
Chapter 23,
which is giving and helping people be able to live an abundance lifestyle compared to a scarcity. How do you live an abundance lifestyle and know that I can give away all my money and it will come back to me in magnitude if I take care of it properly? And living actually that life where you're not worried about making the next payment. You're not worried. You're not scared. You're not fearful anymore. You have faith and you have an abundance mindset, because when we have more human beings living like that, Jimmy, the world's just better, period. I was sitting last night on my computer wondering who I can give my money to. Somebody got a nice 4-figure check last night. Somebody, maybe they know yet this morning, maybe they don't.
Yeah, this is another great message. I called yesterday a client I closed recently to ask if I could drop off a small gift. He told me nobody ever shows him gratitude, and he was so grateful. It felt great.
Yeah, there you go. Now imagine if you could give that small gift, not because you wanted something, but just because you just filled your heart with gratitude and grace and all those things. And maybe it was that way, maybe it wasn't. But as a business guy, it drops off thinking, hey, Jimmy, do you got anybody you can refer to me? Now imagining buying meals and Thanksgiving meals and giving them away to people that you don't even know for no reason, and there's nothing in return.
That's right. That's right. So, well, everybody, it's been a powerhouse hour with the money puzzle author, Austin Cheviron, which is a great word to say now, right? Like, we're friends, we're pals, but the author, Austin Cheviron. Man, it's great to hear that come out. So, we've dug into mindset and systems and all the things. I appreciate you guys watching again. Obviously, Austin, thank you for joining me. Go see Austin tomorrow in Troy at his book signing at Barnes & Noble from 12 to 2 tomorrow. 12 to 2, not 12 to 3 now tomorrow. 12 to 2.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You got it, my friend. Well, guys, thanks for joining me again on the Elite Real Estate Podcast. I appreciate it. Austin, again, thank you for your time. I will talk to you guys next week. See the potential. Hands on hearts, we turn dreams into gold. No diamonds gotta take. Climb a steep, but worth it for the dreams we keep sharing.
and collaborating, making the mark. Bright lights in our eyes, ignite the spark.